Doing Daddy Freeze?
Yo, bro, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm at work.
Yeah. Talk to me.
My mother, like what you're saying, right? My dad did what you just said. Like my dad has a second wife, and I never met my stepbrothers and stepsisters physically. I've seen them on video. So what you're saying actually makes sense. Like me, I was born and raised here. I've never in my life dated a Nigerian. I'm talking to one now, but to bring her here and the way things are in that country, I feel like women in Nigeria do two things. They sweet talk you for money, and they sweet talk you because you're a guy from a different country. So I call them opportunists. They use relationships. They use relationships as something else. They use relationships as a steady income. Nigerian women use relationships as a steady income, and they use relationships as different things. I don't know how to say it, but what you're saying is correct. Because my dad, right? He married another woman in Nigeria, and I have all my brothers. He's not gonna bring them until they're like my age, like 18, 19, 20. But what you're saying is correct.
Let me ask you, how did that work out with your mom?
My dad waited for us to all get to be older in order for him to get married. He only stayed because he wanted us to get a little bit older. But we already knew what was going on.
Okay, so that means your mom and your dad were having...
Yeah, they were having issues, but my dad only stayed because of us. He only stayed because of us, but he's married to another woman, which he comes back and forth to Nigeria because of her.
But is the woman happy about it? Doesn't she want to come to America?
My dad makes the rules, and she's obeying it. So when my three brothers, when my two sisters, and my third brother gets older, that's when she's gonna come down here. It's the rule. Wears the pants in the marriage, so she has to listen.
This makes so much sense.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what he did. He was like, Toye, if you want to marry a Nigerian girl, it's okay, but this is what you're gonna do. Talk to them, but don't bring them here. Have kids over there. Wait till they're a little bit older, then bring them. After you have like 5, 6, 7 kids, bring them here, and then you're good. Because at the it's sort of like I'm locking you down. It's sort of like I've trapped you. Because what females in Nigeria do, they see guys as opportunists.
Now they have a right.
Yeah.
Ebere,
sir,
what wonderful format and idea this gentleman is sharing with us today.
Nigerian women are not opportunists.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree with you. Why do you think we're opportunists? Are you Nigerian? Are you originally, are you biologically Nigerian?
My mother's Yoruba, my dad's American.
Okay.
My mother warns me about the women in Nigeria. She's been warning me about the women since I was 18. And the thing about that is, before, I didn't know what she was saying, because this is the thing. If I like somebody, I'll help them. And I feel like the females that I've literally talked to and I've literally met, I'll help them with their bills and stuff like that. And then I had to slow down and think, why am I helping this girl? I like her, but why am I helping her? And every time they'll give me an excuse. Oh, you know how Nigeria is. I don't have anybody, blah, blah, blah. Some of them, they have a job, but it's like they see me as green. Did you say something?
ATM.
Yeah, ATM. And I'm like, look, I had to stop. And I'm like, number one, I'm not your ATM. Number two, I'm doing it genuinely. I don't have to. It's not a must that I have to do it. You need to find something to do or get some type of handwork. Look on YouTube that will make you money. So after a while, my mom was like, these Nigerian girls, they will run you broke. They'll run you broke. I'm telling you, stop it. So I had to, every time my mother said that, I had to sit down and just think. And I'm like, why is my account always getting low? And then I had to stop. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I cannot marry no Nigerian.
Where did you meet these girls? Like here in the US or in Nigeria?
When I go to Nigeria, I meet them in person, or sometimes I meet them through Facebook.
Okay, so you're going for girls that live in Nigeria. Nothing wrong with that, right? But you have to understand that there's a cultural difference. And Nigerian women do believe that men take care of them. Like men take care, and the men likewise believe that they take care of the women. You don't have to agree with it. It's just a cultural thing, right?
I guess.
It's a cultural thing. And so it doesn't necessarily make them, because these women will come, like if such women, I'm talking of the specific women you've encountered, if you were to live with them, I believe, that they would probably be like very, very like homely type of women, caring for the home, cooking all the time, and they would never expect you to be in the kitchen. Now, if you met some other women who would not do what you're talking about, those women will expect you to do chores, be in the kitchen, things like that. So it's a cultural difference.
Right. I understand my mother's Nigerian, but I was born and raised in America. So how I think is really different from how they think. And the thing about it, I'm like, do you guys want to marry guys from America? We don't take no BS. We don't take none of that. If we're doing things for you, it's genuinely. Me personally, I will love a female who has her own. So that way I can contribute. So that way I won't feel like I'm being used. Just because I'm a guy and just because it's a cultural thing does not make it the right for your right to say, oh, you're a guy, you're supposed to do this for me every day. No, you have to contribute too. I don't care.
But if that's what they believe and it's their culture, if that, like the Western culture is not necessarily the correct thing. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here for you to understand, right? So, because I'm not saying I believe a woman must collect from a man. However, I still see the benefits. There's pros and cons to both sides and both cultures. There's pros and cons. A lot of these Nigerian men here right now in the comments who are talking about how, oh my God, it's true, Nigerian women are opportunists. These same men, most of them want a woman that's completely submissive. How will you get a woman who's submissive if she's spending her money?
Man has to have something for a woman to submit to. It goes both ways. I can't be a breadwinner and you just sit in the house all day and you want to be a housewife. And I'm like, I have kids, and you just sit there and like, oh, babe, this, oh, babe, that. In order for a guy to be submissive, the woman has to.
Not the guy, the woman.
Yeah. In order for a woman to be submissive, the guy has to have something to submit to. You get what I'm saying? So at the end, how I see things is like I've told my mom, like it's really hard for me. I think I want to date an African female, but the culture thing is going to clash because I've talked to females and it's like you guys want to come to America, but you can't even handle me. Everybody here is 10 times either worse or straightforward and things like that. Like I've tried to understand my mother's culture the whole life. I don't understand it. So.
And you see, there's also one thing I notice about us Nigerians in general, Africans and even African Americans, and that is we are so quick to talk down on ourselves. So you see what you say about your mom, want to tell you that it's kind of like the thing that has kind of rubbed off on all of us Black people, where we actually don't speak the greatest of ourselves, because I think African women, Nigerian women are queens. I really do. I'm not lying. They're probably some of the best women. Now, how you choose them matters. Whatever their values are, they can learn and unlearn. So sometimes it boils down to the type of women you meet, the type of women you attract. Nigerian women are queens. I kid you not, they are. They're probably the women that will treat you the best. They're the women that will give you the best in the bedroom. They're the women that will cook the best. No woman on earth cooks as well as a Nigerian woman. I promise you.
Okay.
That's my take. So I think Nigerian women are great. However, they've been raised, and you can't blame them. The society has raised them to believe that a man must take care of them. you can't blame them. That's a societal construct.
If I was thinking like that, I will rethink that. And that's the thing. Let me tell you something. I love Nigeria, but let me tell you something about Nigeria, right? Nigeria wants to culture. Why are you guys celebrating Halloween in Nigeria? Why are you guys what's this stuff? Why do you guys want to have a gay community in Nigeria? At the end of the day,
No, we don't. We don't celebrate Halloween. It's not a generally celebrated thing in Nigeria. No.
It's in Nigeria though. And the thing
it's just more of the enlightened people that do it, but we don't generally celebrate Halloween. No. Growing up, I never did Halloween.
How I see Nigeria is monkey see, monkey do. Anything.
What do you mean by that?
Monkey see, monkey do. What I mean, anything happens here, they want to copy. Anything that happens, they want to copy. And the thing about it is, like, I've literally talked to people in Nigeria, and I said, why do you guys want to copy why do you guys want to copy certain things here that you know in Nigeria they don't allow? They're like, oh, we just want to try it. Just like the what happened, the toll gate thing. I'm like, why are you guys trying to fight for something when you know damn well like that type of situation can't happen? So at the end of the day, I feel like there's certain things that Nigeria shouldn't adapt to or try to bring into the country because it's not gonna work. And for instance, like for real, what I said, like me, one day I plan to get married to a Nigerian girl, but I don't think I'm gonna bring her here. I'm gonna do what my dad did because I get what he's doing. If you bring a girl here, you might change. And once you give a female in Nigeria green light, they are what they're gonna do when they.
Why aren't you looking for a Nigerian woman in the US? There are lots of Nigerian women here.
There are, but I'm just saying if it happens, in case, I'm like, you never know. But I'm just saying it actually happens. Like my dad was like, if you ever do want to get married to one, don't do Nigeria. Like don't go to Nigeria and do it because at the end of the day, you're gonna save yourself from a lot of problems.
The points are valid.
I've never in my life physically dated, but I've never dated a Nigerian physically, but I don't really have African friends.
In America. Well, you should maybe start with that. Start with Africans here in America. Like even using Facebook and trying to do it internationally, that puts you at risk, to be honest. And that's just the reality. It puts you at risk. So because you don't know the people you're interacting with. But if you meet someone here, you kind of know what the person does, then you get to see a different perspective of a Nigerian that's actually here that understands the Western culture to an extent.
I've been kind of nervous and scared to actually date an African girl, so I'm like, okay.
Daddy Freeze, let's hook him up.
Let's hook him up. I'm not there.
What you're saying that actually there's some guys who are actually starting to do it. Like my dad, he was like, yeah, when your brothers and sisters are like your age, we're gonna bring them down here, and I'm gonna bring my wife down here. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, because a lot of people don't want to go.
If they want to all that, don't that make sense?
I didn't hear properly. The line was kind of weird.
Yes. Don't you think it's better to if you marry a Nigerian girl, keep her out of the US?
Yes.
For your own sake.
Yes.
Why would you get married to somebody and not be able to live where you live with that person? Why are you getting married to somebody if that's the way you feel? It means you don't trust the person.
Being cautious.
Why did trust come up? All the divorces happened. Did they not trust each other?
Well, Daddy Freeze, you can never tell whether you divorce or not. The point is, we're talking about when you are in the marriage. Why would you be in a marriage with somebody you cannot live anywhere in the world with?
I think we're using the word trust very lightly here.
Daddy Freeze, I was on somebody else's live one time, and one lady said that she will not bring a Nigerian man. She's Nigerian. She said she will not marry a man from Nigeria and bring him to America. She's an American citizen. And everybody lashed her. Everybody insulted her. But now he's saying practically the same thing, and everybody is praising it.
It's the worst. Like, to be honest, I've seen things happen.
Okay, shake
My
it.
cousin, right? My cousin wanted to marry somebody from Nigeria 2 years ago. Hell broke loose. And my cousin, like when he called me, he was like, Toya, you sure you want to marry from here? I said, what happened? He said, your mom and the person's mother got angry. They were throwing stuff and everything because I guess that my cousin found out what she was trying to do, and she was almost close to getting a passport and all that stuff. So it's a lot of drama. It's a lot of drama. Like you try.
You said your mom is Nigerian.
Yeah.
Was her marriage successful with your father?
Nope. I
So,
the only reason my parents stayed together is because of me and my sisters. But after like they've been married 30 years. My dad divorced my mom like 10 years ago, secretly divorced my mom 10 years ago. But we already knew what was going on. So like stayed with us. He just stayed with us because he wanted us to really I guess I forgot what he wanted to do, but he wanted to stay with us just so we can be okay, so we won't cry and things like that. But
I'm going to ask you a question, and you don't have to answer this question because it's maybe slightly sensitive. But do you think your mother was a good wife?
having trauma, she was a good mother, but a wife, no.
Okay.
Good mother.
Honest.
She was.
I like honest.
She was a good mother to her kids, but a wife, no. Because at the end of the day, I still have trauma as a kid till now. I still have trauma. I'm traumatized from me being a little kid, me seeing arguments, my parents putting me as a yo-yo, my mom speaking negatively about my dad speaking. So I'm the firstborn. So when you marry and you put your kid, it starts to dramatize them as they get older. And that's what has happened to me. So therefore, I don't really trust a lot of people. I don't really get close to people. So from an African household, African parents, especially the women, especially if you're Yoruba, some of the parents feel like they have friends, especially the women. They'll go gossip to their friends about what goes on in their own damn household. They about what goes on in their own damn household, thinking that they have friends. Those so-called friends that you think you have, they go tell their friends about what goes on in your house. So when your kids come around, your kids start to feel some type of energy and like, why is this auntie looking at me? Why is this going on? This, like my mom, she's always been the type of person where anything that happens in the house, she'll talk on the phone. And I'm like, do you not know you're embarrassing yourself and you're embarrassing us? So anybody that comes, they already know what goes on in the house. And the so-called friends that our mothers think they have, they're the ones who ruin the relationship. They ruin the marriage. And at the end of the day, I've always hated that because it's like, why do you have to gossip about what goes on in the house? Why do you have to go gossip about what goes on with your kids? Because at the end of the day, your kids is a reflection of you as a parent and a mother. So at the end of the day, when you're talking about your kid, you're actually talking about yourself. And at the end of the day, like I tell people, too many friends equals too many voices. And what that means is